Salut, bonjour, and welcome back to JustDisc. So, how do you lower your scores? I think we all understand that practice definitely makes perfect, or at least near perfect, and watching the pros helps as well. But there's gotta be some tips that you can take into consideration today to really help you reduce your scores. So, here are 7 tips to help you reduce your strokes when heading to the course. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is an easy one, but you gotta give yourself 20 to 30 minutes to warm up. And that includes putting as well as driving. So going 15 minutes ahead to practice on the practice basket, start at 10, 15, 20, 30 feet, build that muscle memory, warm up that body, warm up that release, how it feels coming off the hand so you can build your confidence. As well as going to an open field and just throwing some putters, some mid-ranges, some drivers, really getting that feel on how you're throwing for the day will help you build that confidence that you know you can perform specific shots when you get onto the course. And during this warm-up, or even before, more importantly, make sure that you stretch because tight muscles produce poor shots and they also produce injuries. I, for instance, actually tore my hamstring playing disc golf. I couldn't believe it. So make sure that you are warming your body up. Tip number 2 is an obvious one, but you need to plan ahead. You need to stay hydrated and nourished before, during, and after your round. You really don't want to be, eating your entire breakfast and drinking a massive amount of water, 20 minutes before your round. That's just going to slow you down. So make sure that you're well nourished and well hydrated an hour or 2 before to really make sure that your body has time to process what it just took in so that it has enough energy and focus for the day. During your round, you want to have a nice amount of water, obviously. You want to have a snack. Usually that 9-hole mark is a good time to start eating something because you really don't want to wait until your body is really asking for it, because at that point, it's a little too late. Tip number 3 is a very beneficial one, and that is to let the disc do the work. Play the overstable or hyzer shot whenever possible because it's much more of a guarantee. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you are a right-hand backhand player, you know that by the way that you throw the disc, it always wants to finish left. It wants to fade left. That is an easier shot to perform than trying to do a straight shot that doesn't move at all, or a shot that goes right and then comes back left. So whenever possible, stick to that guarantee. Stick to that nice fade that you know is going to come back to reach the target. Tip number 4 is to keep your disc selection minimal and only use what you know, what you're confident with. If you have 5, 6 discs that you know how to throw really well, that you've had for a few years, stick to those discs for those difficult shots rather than bringing your entire library in your bag and then you're left with all of this decision making and really doubt starts to creep in your head and you end up, getting a bogey rather than a birdie or a par. I, for instance, still carry a Champion Boss, which is about 13 years old, pretty much the first disc that I ever got, and I'm just extremely confident with it. I use it all the time for backhands and for forehands. So stick to what you know and you're gonna get better results. Tip number 5 is to play smart. Your objective, just like ball golf, is to avoid as many mistakes as possible. Think ahead before you take your shot. Really choose the shot that's going to avoid getting that bogey. Don't always just try and go for the birdie if you can't even get anywhere close to the birdie. Yes, getting birdies is important, but it's more important to avoid those high numbers. Play smart shots, avoid mistakes. That's what golf is all about. To help with this understanding on playing smart, here are a few examples. So here we are at hole 11. It's a par 3, 238 feet, pretty short hole. And what you want to do when you get to any hole is analyze it. See what is the best route to take to avoid those bogeys and to guarantee a birdie or a par. So we can go straight here with the putter or mid-range. That's an option. There's the bush and the tree. We could take a big hyzer route where we go right to left all around those bushes and those trees as well, but again, it risks hitting something. Or we can take the easiest route, which is simply the left side, either a backhand ant hyzer where it goes left to right, or better yet, an easier shot would simply be a forehand if you have that in your shot repertoire. And personally myself, because I have that forehand, I'm gonna take that shot, I'm gonna go on the left side and really guarantee that I don't hit anything. All right, so here we are on hole 8. It's a 402-foot hole. It has a mando. It's a very kind of tight gap that you have to get down. You can take a driver and try and get as close to the basket as possible and even land it to get that eagle, but it's very hard. So going for a big drive on this hole is very risky. You may not make the mando, or you may end up in the trees on the left or right and really kind of struggling to get that approach shot and really kind of missing out on the opportunity for a birdie. But instead, what's a smarter move is really just using kind of a mid-range like my King Cobra or my Mako, really playing for that gap, landing in the middle. That way I guarantee a great, easy hyzer second shot that I know I can get to the basket and get that birdie. All right, so as you can see, my drive ended up right in the middle. So now I just have a baby little hyzer approach to get under the basket and get me that birdie. Tip number 6 is to play in the morning, or play when you have the most amount of energy. Personally, I have the most amount of energy in the morning. I'm well rested, I'm nourished, I'm hydrated, I'm focused, and I notice that my scores are a lot lower than when I play in the evening. After I've done a whole day, perhaps I've already gone on a little bit of a hike or a walk with the dog, it's just a lot harder to stay focused, make those putts, and make those shots that you're looking to make. And the last and final tip, the 7th tip, is to stay patient. Stick with it. Stay positive. This is golf. There are 18 holes. Just because you bogey the first few holes doesn't mean you're going to shoot over par or you're going to shoot a bad round. You have no idea what golf is going to give you that day. You may get an ace. You may get 5 birdies straight. So you have to stay patient, stay positive, and it may work out to your liking in the end. All right, well, there you have it. Those are the 7 tips on how you can improve your disc golf scores today. I hope you found this video beneficial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt.